Oh, when you out in LA, you've met people like Lana Del Rey. I mean, it's been
Yeah.
pretty cool, huh?
Hollywood is funny like that. I joke with my friends about this, that it is exactly what you expect and don't expect at all. Like there, and I think the longer that you're here, um, because what it's been, going on like 9 years or something,
Yeah, yeah,
since I've lived here. And so through my work and playing shows and meeting people, and it takes time to really develop, a community and a presence in a city with so many talented people and so much going on. But
yeah.
you do find yourself at some party or some bar where you look over and you're like, that's Lana Del Rey. She's
Wow.
hanging out at the bar.
Yep.
And I introduced myself because at the time,
Cool.
I had released Kicker, my first record,
Yep.
and a lot of the press that was coming out was comparing me to Lana. And so I had an idea that she
Gotcha.
probably, like, I don't know, just picked up on that, or I mean, she's
Yep.
into music and knows
Yep.
what's going on in the industry. And so I was kind of curious if she was aware of that. And I introduced myself, and um she was so sweet and disarming, and and recalled one of my songs on the record,
Wow.
Jameson, that's like a deeper
Mm-hmm.
cut,
Mm-hmm.
um and just proceeded to compliment me.
Wow.
And it was as simple as that. And our friendship has been, you know really, really genuine and
That's great.
real and easy,
Because
you
you hear
know
horror stories about it out there. I mean,
well, I've also, those are also, it's a part of Hollywood.
yeah, it
Hollywood is
is.
is is a scary, fascinating place.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Well, that's really cool. You're having success out there and doing well. And of
Thank you.
course, now the last almost 2 years now with the pandemic has just turned our worlds upside down for the most part. How have you been dealing with it? What have you been up to during this time? Obviously, doing some writing. How has it affected
Yeah.
your career?
It's affecting my career deeper, in a more, uh, I don't know, obvious display of derailment
Yeah.
as I'm trying to get on the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's, making all the plans and committing to these dates, and getting the players in my band to commit and clear their schedules. And that's a really hard thing to do, because ultimately, it's a risk, and it's a risk that we're all willing to make.
Yeah.
um, However, I just, yeah. I mean, right now my dates haven't been canceled. Like, I'm starting to play shows again for the first time in a very long time, in about 4 years. So
Wow. Oh,
I've
wow.
already been I've already been quarantining before
Hmm.
quarantine felt.
Yeah. Yeah.
I went through a pretty major transition in my career with switching labels, and um that was like quite a big undertaking,
Yeah.
as it is when you redirect and
Yes.
rebuild, and want to kind of shift into a different path,
Yeah.
which has been what I've done, and it's taken some serious time. And so now begins the fun part, right? And what I've been looking forward to. But it is deeply, it's affected. There's kind of this wet blanket
Yes.
that
Oh,
is the
yeah.
that is the
Yeah.
COVID
It's
blanket.
it's been rough on, I mean, radio. Oh, everybody, the world. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just been
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah. So now you're doing some dates with the Silver Sun Pickups. Did I see that right?
I am. Yeah, I'm really excited to
Cool.
get on the road with them. I've heard great things about them, and they're an amazing live band, and I have so much respect for bands that really figure out, what their process is on the road, because it's hard to make a living doing what we do.
Yeah,
And
it
they've been
is.
quite successful at it, and have a really loyal fan base, and I
Mhm.
can't wait to see how they put everything together. I'm excited. And it's
Yeah.
also a West Coast date, so to sort of just get my feet wet again, and
Yeah.
stay like kind of close to home. And I'm doing more of a pared down set for the Silver Sun pickup shows. So it'll just be me and a guitar player and my keyboard player, and I'm playing guitar. And then for festival dates, I've got Beach Life coming up, which is in Redondo, and then I'm playing ACL, and that'll be full band. So I'm
Okay.
working simultaneously on like 2 sets right now, which
Okay.
is kind of like a lot all at once.
Yeah, it is.
But
Yeah, it
but
is. You're
yeah.
remaining flexible though, or it's kind of, ready
Yeah.
for whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So that's kind of how it's had to be. I mean, ultimately, with my comeback moment of playing shows again, I would love for it to be full band and exactly what you're hearing from the record.
Yeah.
But I'm also very, very confident in my ability to, translate the music in a more acoustic
Yeah.
form.
Intimate way.
So,
Yep. Yeah.
yeah,
Very cool. Well, Golden is doing great.
thank you.
It's fantastic, and it's streaming great. It's just,
I did.
actually,
I got a good update from my manager last week, and I was
yeah.
like, "Woo!"
Yeah. Well, when I was doing a little research on you. I went to I think it was your Facebook page or something like that. And
Mm,
underneath it, there was a comment. Cage the Elephant had commented on it, the band page.
yeah.
So I was like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's a
Daniel
great song.
Kitchener,
We love it.
thank
It sounds so good on the air. It
thank
really,
you.
it really comes off very well. And it's just got that it factor. I don't know what else to say about it. It's just a great song. Great
Thank you.
song. So
I really appreciate that. It was
yeah.
a very inspired song, and I continue to be inspired by the kind of response that it attracts, because there's a positive message, and because we're living in a time where we really need that.
Yep.
And I couldn't have, when I recorded the record last year in July, I had no idea, what it would be looking like
Yeah.
a year from now. And I feel like I really did myself a favor in writing music that's at its core uplifting.
Well,
Um
I think what I was expecting from the industry would be a lot of, oh my gosh, this is going to get really dark here. But
yeah,
it hasn't. And you're right. By writing a
yeah,
song like that, people were looking for that,
yeah.
which, I mean, it's timing a lot of things. And
Hmm.
I think it really struck a nerve with people. It's like, yeah, it really, and it still is. It's just fantastic for you. So I'm really thrilled that
Thank you so much.
this
Thank
is
you.
kind of that. Does it feel like that kind of the breakthrough moment a little bit into that? I
Um
mean, you've been around now, people know your name, but that
yeah.
next tier.
Yeah, that's what I have been envisioning for myself. That's what this
Mhm.
record is poised to be.
Yep.
So I have a lot of work to do
Yeah.
still.
But
And there is a moment, I think that because I got started when I was really young. I
yeah.
signed a record deal and a publishing deal when I was 18 years old. So um my mentality has really shifted from being that kid,
Mhm.
and seeing the world as this, like, fresh and new experience, and not really understanding it, trying to experience and understand it and holding on for like dear life.
Yep.
And now I'm in a place where you're right, like there have been years put into this.
Hmm.
I have created somewhat of a name for myself, and that can be a really interesting transition into accepting, like, okay, you have a career now. You have a
Yeah.
career now. You have to take care of it in a different way,
Yep.
and really start thinking about, the long term,
Yes.
really. So
Yeah.
like, so Golden and this record are really, yeah, they're very intentional in that
Hmm.
way. And I think, and it does feel like a breakthrough, at least for me, getting out of one phase of my life and entering into another, and this music being really representative of that, and it's translating very well live too.
Sure.
And
Sure.
that's that's a place that I'm always trying to get back to.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this record is going to be a really nice setup for the next one and the next one after that, etc.
Yep.
So there will hopefully be a lot of breakthrough moments.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Well,
what
yeah.
these careers are consisted of. It's like I've had
Yes.
so many of those moments where I'm like, this is it.
Yeah.
Like this is it. And it's like, no, this is one of many.
One of many.
It.
Exactly. One of many.
Yep.
Exactly. So let's
Yep.
talk about the new music. Now you had the EP out.
Yes.
Where does the devil hide? And now you've got the new album coming out. Can you fill us? Is there a lot you can tell us about it yet, or is it still kind of in the works?
No, it's finished.
It's finished.
Yeah.
Officially, when does it come out now?
That I cannot say.
Okay.
Because
Okay. Gotcha.
that I cannot say. But
Okay.
the record is ready.
Mm-hmm.
And with the timeline of everything, we're trying to adjust to obviously the timeline of the world. And
Yes.
and it's like one step forward, two steps back, half step forward. And so trying to kind of be in flow with that, because like you're mentioning earlier in the conversation, it's like streaming is important, and timing is kind of everything
Yes,
in
it
this sort
is.
of algorithmic system that we are living in. And
Mm-hmm.
the industry also existing so much on the internet right now,
Mm-hmm.
because the live space has been kind of extracted.
Yeah.
There's so the release of the record is we're really kind of trying to figure that out,
Gotcha.
and just kind of be sensitive to what's going on in the
Yeah.
world and figuring out when's the right time.
Yeah. We're kind of in limbo a little bit. I mean, it's kind of crazy. You see tours going on, then you see others being canceled. It's crazy time right now, to say the least. So well, that's good. It's done. Now it's just a matter of getting it out there. Now you're back, you've done some rock, you've done such a variety of different things. I was really going through the videos, like, obviously I knew your hits and so forth and the albums, but is the new album kind of like that too? Is it a mixture, or have you got one direction you're taking?
It is a variety.
Okay.
There's something really empowering about not limiting yourself. Even though I'm sure I will move into, like, at one point in my career, in trying on new things and challenging myself. Like, I would love to do a conceptual album.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This one it does have like a lot of dynamic, and there is a lot of variety on the record. There was also so much time that went into writing the record, so there was so much music written that I feel like I'm changing and growing at such a fast pace all the time. I'm always trying to keep up with myself, and the songs that really did stick around were the ones that just at the end of the day, after I had written the 60 songs over like a few years, I kind of looked at that long list and was like, well, what are the ones that still make me proud and still stand out?
Yeah.
So like that's really the concept. It's like,
well,
which ones are rising to the top. And so with that, it's kind of like, I'm making that decision, but they're also kind of choosing me. It's like I have an interesting relationship with my music in that way, to where I don't try to control it too much, because I do really believe in the process of kind of this, this communication that you've established with something like really beyond and outside of yourself.
Yep.
Like that's what a lot of creativity is.
It sounds like you have a lot of control over this. I mean, not all artists do. They're
How
told
do you mean?
you need to. No, they'd say, okay, we're going to put this song, this song, this song, and this song in the album, and you'd be okay. But you've got a lot of control over this. That's great.
It really it's quite different than what my first my first go around with a label and management. All of that was was a very different situation than I'm in now. So getting the chance to, um, you know, have a second chance actually. And for me, like I'm so happy that I did get into the industry as young as I was,
Mm-hmm.
because the lessons that I learned and the knowledge that I have acquired has been in chronologically and in my timeline in a way where I feel like I'm really benefiting from being able to apply all that I've learned
Yep.
now. And I'm 26, so like the position that I'm in and having control over my music, like I figured out, like kind of mid 20s, early 20s, where I was like, oh, I'm not going to be happy in my career if I don't have more autonomy
Yep.
and control over what I'm making, because if there's one thing that I trust more than anything, it's not the industry, it's myself
Mm-hmm.
in
Yep.
what I make, and knowing that I'm a writer and I'm an artist, and I will always be creating output, and I just really need to create a team around me that really facilitates that,
Yeah.
because and I also do love, like, it's part of being a professional artist is you have to welcome a part of the industry, and you just have to find people that you want to do it with and that you trust and you really feel like have your back, and also that you can take constructive criticism from, because
Mhm.
I really do appreciate that. I
Yeah.
really I really do like when somebody like my A&R Matt is has an incredible ear,
Yep.
and
Yep.
I love the way he talks about my songs, and I love the way he dissects them, because
Yes.
it's almost there is this formula, the side that's less feeling and more cerebral,
Yeah.
objective.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's cool to be able to work with people that feel like
Oh yeah. Well, you hear these stories over the years. A lot of people just have, people who just tell them what they want to hear, and that's ultimately doesn't do
yeah,
you any good in the long run.
no, I
That you don't grow
yeah,
that way.
no, I was really blessed to also grow up in a family, and my mother and my sister, who are, like, yes, my biggest cheerleaders and fans, but also my toughest critics.
Oh,
And
yeah.
um and it's the way that we have healthy relationships,
Yep. Yep.
like both with ourselves and the
Yep.
world at large. And I'm really, yeah, I don't want to be too in my head.
Hmm.
I'm already so much in there.
Yeah. Well, I
you
tell you,
know
from the short time we've talked, and I've talked to a lot of musicians and artists over the years, you've got it all. I think you got your head on straight. You've got it. You seem to be really on top of things the way you need to be as far as your focus and who you've got surrounding you. I mean, um, I'm really excited for your career, not just
Thank
because you're
you.
from Arizona too, but it's cool to see this. I think it's really cool when somebody can, come from a small town and go out to LA and meet the right people, and it's a success
Yeah.
story. That's
Yeah.
because there aren't, as we said before, there aren't a lot of them. So it's great to see. Golden is doing golden, and
Golden is
golden
golden.
is golden.
Can't say
And
nothing more, nothing less.
nope, nope, nope. There's the review right there. Golden. Yeah. Um, and it's just uphill from here. We just need a little time to get back on track with the world and
Yeah.
get you out there in front of people. And I think things are really gonna take off because I know we've had great success with your songs here, and it's just you've got that sound. You're on the right track for sure. And
Thank you. That means a lot to
you
me, and
know,
I'm so grateful to have your support.
yeah,
Anybody that's really connecting with the music and championing the music. It's what it takes, because it's
yep,
like I have control over so much, and then ultimately I don't get to decide the other half of the, how it's being digested and how people are responding to it and how
Yeah.
much they want it a part of their lives, because it is the songs become an interpersonal relationship with the listener, and that's
Sure.
such an interesting thing.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and the way I feel to have the best shot is to be like the most honest that you possibly can be. And I do feel like I've now situated myself in a place where I feel safe to do that. I
Yeah.
feel safe to be my most authentic self, and
Yep.
it's really nice to hear that it's reflecting in the music.
That's this format, the AAA format is all about what you just said, honesty and authentic. That's what people are really looking for. And in the long run, you can play these songs forever. You don't have to worry in 20 years playing songs that you don't really like.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah,
It's always that kind of balance of like keeping it contemporary but also timeless.
yes.
That's like,
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that always, of like, I'm not playing like I'm not like a retro,
Hmm.
like,
Hmm.
gimmicky artist, but I do
No,
love
no.
the 70s
Yeah,
and I
no.
love the 60s and I love the 80s, and like
Yep.
all those things are like interwoven into the
Yep.
songs, but it's not like I'm trying to model myself after something that already has happened. I'm trying to model myself as I am now,
Yeah.
but being influenced by the past. So it's kind of like this retro futurism
Yeah. That's perfect. That's perfect.
situation
Moving
that I've got
forward,
going on.
it's moving forward without forgetting the past,
Yeah,
which had a lot
absolutely.
of good things about it. And
Yep.
especially, in
And to
music.
be honest, Doug, that's exactly what the chorus of Golden is about. It's
Cool.
about like it's about moving forward and not forgetting the past, like really being an aware and reflective human, right?
Hmm.
About
Hmm.
like the issues in our world and what's going on, because it is a scary time, but also humans are resilient, and we do move forward, and we do continue to grow, and we continue to fall in love, and we continue to have children and experience
Yes.
death all at the same time. and
Yep.
and there's a lot to be said about that. So it's like in Golden, the chorus is that it's like, don't forget everything that's going on, but you can also be present in a moment where the joy of being human is still very real and palpable.
Yep.
So
That's such a great message. That's just fantastic. And that's why I think this song is only going to get bigger. It's just going to keep going because we need it. We need this kind of,
well, I
you know,
love this conversation. I'm like,
yeah,
yeah,
we
that's
need
right.
that
Send it to
kind
the
of.
stratosphere.
So, well, I tell you what, I'll let you go. You got probably lots of other stuff to do and planning and all that fun stuff. And it
Yeah,
really has been a pleasure. We're very excited for you. The songs sound great on
thank
the
you, Doug.
air, and
Yeah,
Dennis and Julie are on the same page as I am with it. And we all just are really looking for big things, and we're excited. We get excited about this stuff too. That's
yeah.
it's fun, and it's especially just being a little bit growing up in Pine Top, Arizona. Just
Oh, it's such a big part of me.
it is.
I actually did when so last year when I made the record, I drove cross country from here to Nashville to make the record, and it
Yep.
was super important to me to spend time in Arizona on my
Yeah.
way. Like I needed to kind of just going back into this, this next phase and this
Yep.
process,
Yep.
just reconnecting with that land. Like
Yeah.
it's like Pine Top it's beautiful up there,
It
and
is.
preserved, and such a strange part of the world. Um,
Yeah.
and it's just where I was gestating before
Yeah.
birth into into LA. It's like,
From
yeah,
the upper, I don't even know what they call us up here, the upper desert or high
yeah,
plains, whatever they
the
call
high
us.
desert,
High
but
desert.
it's
Yeah. There
such
you
a
go.
part of my psyche,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's in there.
It's a beautiful part of the world. It really
Yeah,
is. Sedona and
yeah,
all through here. There
I
is
know.
something special there is an energy here. You can't really put your finger on it, but it's
It's true.
here for here.
It's
Yep.
true.
Zella, it's
It's
been a
true.
pleasure.